What's up everybody, Bucky Badger W here. The following clip is just a snippet from my Wisconsin Badgers 2021 season preview video, which is a deep dive not just into Graham Mertz, but into the entire Wisconsin Badgers roster and their schedule and much more. If you like some of what you see here, consider checking out that video. Without further ado, here's my assessment of 2020 Graham Mertz and how I think he will perform in 2021. Let's start off with the most important position on the team, quarterback, where Graham Mertz is the X factor. There's no dancing around the fact that last season wasn't exactly the big opening year everyone was expecting from Graham Mertz. His stats are on the screen, and none of them are terrible, but they're not great. He had a 61.1% completion percentage, 7th in the Big Ten. He averaged 6.4 yards per pass, 11th in the Big Ten. 4.7% touchdown percentage, 8th in the Big Ten. 2.6% interception percentage, 6th in the Big Ten. And overall a 125.2 quarterback rating, 9th in the Big Ten. So he wasn't terrible, but he certainly wasn't good. Now, I really should clarify, early season Graham Mertz looked to be one of the best young quarterbacks in college football. Graham came out in week 1 with guns a-blazing, looking ready to set the world on fire. In week 1, Mertz threw for 248 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions while completing 20 of 21 passes in a historic first start versus Illinois. Mertz then followed that up with a 127-yard, 2-touchdown day at Michigan, even coming off of being smacked in the mouth by COVID. Unfortunately, 2020 was a tale of 2 seasons for Graham Mertz, and the classic mid-Saturday game versus Northwestern at Ryan Field was the wrench that threw everything off, of course. In that tragic upset at the hands of Northwestern, other than a deep touchdown pass to Chimere Dike in the first quarter, Mertz was just off. He threw 3 picks to an aggressive Wildcat defense and lost a fumble. Now, to preface the point I'm about to make, I have to say that Graham Mertz has the most arm talent easily of any quarterback the Badgers have had since Russell Wilson. When he takes calculated risks with the ball down the field, you can see that Graham is very accurate. He displays great touch over all areas of the field and has a lightning-quick release. Mertz's arm can fit the ball into places not many other quarterbacks would dare to go. But at Northwestern, as I said, something changed in him. After about the second interception he threw, if you go back and watch that game, Graham Mertz looked like he was seeing ghosts. When things were going right against Illinois and Michigan, he was taking risks, and because his arm is so talented, those risks were paying off. But once he committed a couple turnovers against a very good Wildcats defense, it looked like he didn't trust his eyes anymore, nor did he trust that his arm could put the ball anywhere he wanted it. These misgivings Mertz had forced him to hold on to the ball way too long, and against the good defenses Wisconsin would face down the coming stretch, that would prove to be costly. Over the next 3 games, the Badgers squared off against the 4th, 6th, and 20th ranked scoring defenses in the country, with Northwestern, Iowa, and Indiana. Safe to say, it didn't go great. Over those 3 games, Mertz went 63 of 113 passing, which is a 56% completion percentage, and threw for about 200 yards a game, or 5.3 per attempt. Mertz threw only 1 touchdown coupled with 7 turnovers, 5 picks, and 2 fumbles lost. He was also sacked 8 times. To be fair to Mertz, he literally has any excuse you could ask for to excuse those bad performances. First off, as I said, Northwestern, Iowa, and Indiana were all super stingy defenses last year, and anybody would have had trouble throwing against them back to back to back. Secondly, Mertz was coming off a period where COVID absolutely knocked him on his behind. After I got my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine, I felt like absolute crap for the next 2 to 3 days, and that was just the vaccine. I've never had it, but from what I've heard, COVID isn't exactly fun to have, and it's tough to ask someone to come back from that virus and be the same guy just a couple weeks after recovering. Thirdly, Mertz was a redshirt freshman, and it was a weird COVID season. Not many freshmen had too many success last year. Lastly, we'll get to this later, but his receiver room was absolutely dashed with injuries and it had an overall lack of talent. That said, my point still stands. Last year, Graham Mertz was a straight-up weakness for this Wisconsin team. I'm not changing my opinion on that, but I have all the confidence in the world that he can turn it around and become a strength this year. We haven't seen a quarterback in Madison nearly this talented since Russell Wilson himself. If Graham Mertz can have early success in 2021 and get out of his own head, he will be great. I'd rather not explore the possibility of what could happen if the same quote-unquote ghosts he was seeing last year pop up again this year. Chase Wolf saved the day against Minnesota last year, and I'll forever be grateful to him for that, but I'd rather not put the weight of the season on his shoulders. To say that Graham Mertz is Wisconsin's X factor this year is an understatement. Whatever his development is, that'll be what decides the Badgers' fate in 2021.